Holy heck, the YouTube crap-pocalypse is upon us, and there's absolutely nothing that we can do about it. As of late, I've been realizing that this problem is much bigger than any of us even thought it would be. I know a lot of us at first kind of figured, oh, this is weird, this sucks, but I'm sure that YouTube will get the shit together, they'll get it all figured out, and, we'll be back on track in no time. And a part of me still kind of thinks that, but I think that a lot of what it is denial. I think a lot of content creators are just in denial. Now, thinking about this rationally, it seems logical to me that YouTube is never going to go back to the way it was. Those days are gone. And I say that because when you have a $750 million carpet yanked out from under your feet, it's a really big deal. And you really don't want to go through that again. It's like going through a nasty car crash. Once, please, that's all. No, thank you. No need to go through that again. That sucked. Let's make sure that never happens again. Let's put anti-lock brakes on our cars and airbags in here to make sure we don't fuck ourselves up again. I think that YouTube is going to make sure that this never happens again to the very best of their ability. And for that to happen, that means YouTube must, out of necessity for its own survival, and to make money for the shareholders and for everyone above us, it needs to change on a permanent basis, and it will never go back to the way that it was. Now that's scary because a lot of people have spent their entire life for the last decade producing videos for YouTube, and their whole lives are going to change. A lot of them are making absolutely no money, like literally no money on YouTube anymore, because their videos are now unmonetizable, and that's massive. Like, there are people paying their mortgages, paying their property taxes, paying to live, paying for their cars, paying for their kids to go to school and stuff like that, all through YouTube. And the thing is, the dream of YouTube, to be self-made personal wealthy. I'm not talking even getting rich, just self-made wealthy, as in like, hey, I can afford my house, my car, my bills, I can afford to sock some away, I'm living fairly comfortably. It's the American dream. Everyone who did it got to partake in some of the American dream, and it was beautiful, and it really was the epitome of the American dream to a point, because this American company was built from the ground up, and then it was built, essentially raised up on the shoulders of all of its content creators. Because let's face it, without the content creators, and I can't stress this enough, I really want you to pay attention to what I'm going to say right now. Without the content creators, YouTube is nothing. 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 Without us, YouTube has nothing. There's no content for its website. And I'm going to tell you that probably about 85% of the content on its website is monetized content. But I bet you if we were able to go back and look at the hard numbers, I bet you that YouTube, from the time they said anyone can monetize their videos and partner right with us, about 5 years ago, we would see a direct jump in how much money YouTube was making, because people got that idea that they could actually make money doing something that they love, being their own personal celebrity, their own video blogger. The world stage, if you will, of YouTube was at all of our fingertips. And it's not going to be that way anymore. We're all getting royally screwed because of what's happening right now. I promise you, YouTube will absolutely never be the same. And a lot of our favorite content creators that we watch on a daily basis, a lot of those people are going to go away. Now, this can also be proven on a smaller scale by the fact that there are people who are legit celebrities who have been in actual Hollywood movies, who have had starring roles in things, and they are right now currently working as waiters and other kind of service industry jobs, working regular jobs because Hollywood won't hire them anymore, or they just don't want to work in Hollywood. The point is, if it can happen to someone who has been part of the established entertainment media system, it can definitely happen to people on YouTube who are self-made celebrities. I worry about some of the content creators that I love so much, and it makes me very sad to think that they're going to have to change their entire lives, and they might have to sell their homes and their cars and downsize, and their dreams are going to be dashed. I think we're going to see a lot of people who are very depressed. We might even see some suicides. This is going to be a complete and total shitstorm, all because the Wall Street Journal is dying, and they want the ad revenue. I'm serious. If the ad revenue leaves YouTube, where do people think it's going to go? That ad revenue is going to go to other websites. And you better believe that all the other websites that are now getting the ad revenue that YouTube is getting, they're probably rolling around laughing, holding their stomachs, completely excited. really, nobody in the mass media, or mainstream entertainment for that matter, I don't think any of them really ever took any of us that serious. I figured they all thought, oh, they're the kids just playing, pretending to be celebrities on that website, YouTube. I think that they really, for the most part, don't give a rat's ass that this is happening. And again, I think some of them might even be a little bit happy it's happening. No longer will the typical celebrities on television and movies have to compete with YouTube stars. No longer will the news outlets, like the Wall Street Journal, have to compete with the daily news that some YouTubers themselves will put out, and some of the daily current events things, and the politics, and stuff like that. A lot of those channels are gonna go bye-bye. Look at, if PewDiePie is financially feeling this, and he is the #1 subscribed to person on all of YouTube, we're all gonna be feeling this big time. I can tell you, I was making a bit of money off YouTube. Now I'm making absolutely nothing. And this has been big news. This has been all over the news. My dad, who doesn't really follow anything on YouTube, knew about this before I did. When he came to visit, he said, hey, you know that YouTube's lost a bunch of its advertisers, $750 million. He knew about it before I did. At this point, I guess my point is, I would say, dear YouTube, I think you may have forgotten who made you. You didn't make us. We made you. We're the ones who drove all the people to your site in the first place. We're the ones who told all of our friends about you in the first place. We are the dreamers. We are the believers. We are the imaginative writers, directors, and producers of our own content in which we slave over day and night with our own blood, sweat, tears, and passion to put content on a website that you have created. We keep people coming in day and night to your website, clicking on those ads. Without us, you would have nothing and be nothing. And without us, there'd be no reason for other people to come to this website. We made you, and you helped make us. You've never been very good at communicating with us, your content providers, and it's always felt like you don't actually really give a rat's backside about your content creators because you know that we're a dime a dozen. Wouldn't it shake the ground under your feet if we all went on strike for 1 week and you made absolutely no ad revenue? Then you'd hear us. Then we would exist to you, wouldn't we? All I'm asking, in this our time of need, oh YouTube, please, dear YouTube, don't forget us in this time of need. Don't put all of your advertisers first, above us, but rather think of us as well as your advertisers and try to find that middle ground. I understand if you want to be compliant with your advertisers who do not want their ads placed before things that are overtly racist, sexual, and inappropriate. I understand that. As an advertiser, I would not want my product placed before something that was racist. However, I think it's important to keep in mind that if my ad did end up in front of a product that was racist, that doesn't mean that I support that product. It just means it's a randomly placed ad that happened to show up before a video that I myself wouldn't condone. That doesn't make me bad as the advertiser, and it doesn't make you bad as YouTube. It's the content creators that need to be held accountable. When you find people who are overtly racist on your site, get rid of them. That's the appropriate action. Not to screw everyone else over who is creating content for your website. Anyway, peeps, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. If anyone from YouTube is watching this, please consider the words that I'm saying, because I believe they're really, really important, especially in this time that we're all experiencing right now. Thank you very much, and I'll see y'all later. Goodbye!